John.
And Ronnie.
And we're back for another video. You might be wondering, what are they doing with those stupid looking hats on their head? Take it away, baby!
And the big question is, are you ready for some football stories? Just in case football is copyrighted, as Ronnie was worried about.
Alright, so I can't have that thing on my head. It's too long. But anyway, John thought we'd do a video, or this video is going to be about football stories, and John's going to share some of the stories of, him going to the football games with his dad, and we hope you enjoy that. So, take it away, baby.
Take it away, baby.
Okay. Are you going to leave that stupid hat on the whole time?
Yes, I am, because this is my football hat.
Oh, Lord. This is back for when they won the Eagles is what we're talking about, by the way. This is back when they won the Super Bowl back in, was that 2017?
Oh, no, we're even going back further. We're going back to 1976.
I'm talking about the stupid hats, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, the hats are, look, these are wings.
They aren't.
What do you mean they aren't? That's what they're supposed to be. Look, see, that's supposed to be a wing. What do you think it is? It's got lines in it, babe. They're wings.
Yeah, it is a wing.
Yeah, what do you think it is? Come on, babe. How are we going to fly if we ain't got wings? So we're going back to 1976. I was 9.
I don't know. I ain't doing the math. You insist on telling your age, but go
actually,
on.
I was 9. Yeah, that's right.
Good.
67. That's right. 67.
Okay.
Yeah, 77 would have been 10.
He can do math, y'all.
Yeah. So I was 9 years old, and my dad always watched football. We used to watch on TV together. Well, he got my Uncle Facci. And why are you laughing about Uncle Facci? That was his name. We call him Uncle Facci, with my grandfather's brother. So he had all these season tickets and stuff that he used to want to get. Look, you don't like Uncle Facci?
I'm sorry, y'all, but John even told me about somebody.
So please control your laughter so I can get this story started.
He's gonna be over here in the corner laughing.
So anyway, Uncle Facci, he had season tickets he had a bunch of season tickets. He knew the ticket agent guy. I think it was Leo Carlin down at the stadium, but he knew the guy. So Uncle Facci.
Keep saying his name. You're gonna just totally mess up this video.
Look, your glasses are steaming up.
No, that's the light. All right.
I thought I'd get you laughing when I was like, "They're wings! They're wings!"
No, go on and tell your Uncle Facci story.
So anyway, Uncle Facci, he had all these season tickets, and like I was saying, he knew the ticket agent, Leo Carlin, I think it was at the time, down at the stadium. So what he did is he offered my dad tickets to the Eagles game. So my dad started taking me in 1976, which would have been, I think it was Dick Vermeil's first season. So he started taking us to the games, and it's, I'll be honest with you, you guys, those games to me are something that's like, and I'm 55 years old now, those games are like instilled into me where, and it's not some of it's the games, but a lot of it is basically just the experience of being with my dad. And that's something like that, he could have given me anything when he passed away, but giving me that experience to me is worth everything in the world, because like I said, it just sticks with me forever. We would get up, just to give you like a little bit of input, like what we would do in the morning. We'd be up like probably 8-9 o'clock in the morning. He'd make breakfast, and then we'd basically get ready, put on all our Eagles stuff, and we'd go down to the stadium. Man, my dad was fanatical about us being down there a couple hours before the game, because we would go and we'd get hoagies and stuff like that. And me and my sister, he took me and my sister, and then he would take my mom. But my mom kind of like a little bit like Ronnie, where she's always like have to fix her face and get stuff. And I always remember this one time where he was taking my mom to the game because my sister wanted to stay home, so it was me, my mom, and my dad. And my dad's like, "Come on, Laura," he says, "you're taking too long." And my mom's like, "I'm hurrying, I'm coming, Jack, I'm on my way." She says, I'm coming right now." He's like, "Coming is when you're in the car." and we're driving away. Not when you turn around and still in the bathroom fixing your face. So, like I said, just these things like just kind of stick with me. I don't know. This is like one little fraction of a moment, like at a time. But like I said, I can remember like us going to the stadium. We would get down there probably by about 10 for a 1 o'clock game or 11. We'd be down there like 2 hours ahead of time, and just everything in general. Like like we get, like I said, hoagies. We'd eat them in the parking lot. When I started going in 1976, we were going to the Vet, so that was like one of the older stadiums that was basically, they called it, I think it was like a universal stadium because they played baseball there, they played football. They would have to configure the field because that's the old AstroTurf fields. We sat up in the 700 level, so basically the 700 level was probably one of the roughest levels that you would sit on. I remember as a little kid, I remember people coming from Washington, and some guy took their pennant off the stick, like he pulled it off the stick. He ran down, put it out, set it on fire, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, this is basically crazy. But it was like, oh, and then there were Giants fans. There were Giants fans that came to the stadium. They were carrying this great big banner around, like on between the 600 and 700 level, and they had this great big sheet they were carrying around that says "Eagles suck." And well, the next thing, you actually seen the bottom of their sneakers because there were a couple guys that grabbed them and they threw them over into the people on the 600 level, and the only thing you seen was like the bottom of their sneakers. Now, I'm not saying that was that was good or bad, depending on who you root for. But like I said, to me, these are just like memories that like I'll never forget. We went to the 1980 championship game. Me and my dad, I think it was like at the time, and it's funny because about a couple of weeks ago, you can actually see that game on YouTube, and we were watching it, or I was watching it. Ryan was in bed sleeping.
Look, I'm from Philadelphia. I can only take so much of the Eagles.
But 1980, it was like, I think it was like minus 17 or minus 27 with the wind chill factor. We wore like these old, he had like coats that he got from the Army Navy store, like went down to your ankle. They were insulated. Looked like they had some chicken feathers or something in them. I don't know. It was like, it was weird.
They were probably head down.
Well, you remember in the Beverly Hillbillies when Granny got that fur? It was like brown fur. Well, that's what was inside. Yeah, that was inside the coat. Brown fur.
Was down.
Yeah. No, it was fur, babe. It wasn't down on anything. But anyway, I'm telling you, these things came down to your knee. You were warm as hell. But, as cold as it was, for the experience and everything we did, I mean, it was just, to me, it was like the greatest thing on earth, to be able to do that and just experience the games and going with my dad. And years later, I bought tickets right before they went to the Link when they were still at the Vet. And I bought them because I figured me and my son would kind of carry on a thing, but he was still small. I would have to keep the tickets for at least 3 or 4 years. But to be honest with you, it just wasn't the same. And I thought if I had them, it would like bring back those memories with my dad, but it really didn't. And my dad, he was still able, he was up and about, because he was younger in those days when I bought him, because I think I got my tickets from around like 85. But he didn't really have any interest in going no more. And to me, it was just like a hassle with my friends and stuff like that to get people to go. My son was still way too small. And, well, actually, he wasn't even born. No, actually, I think the tickets I got were, I think he was small. So I think I had him in 85 with me and my dad, or 80. I think it was early 80s with me and my dad. And then I think I got him, if I remember right, I might have had him in the beginning of the mid-90s to like late 90s. I think I got him one last time because I think the last game at the Vet was in 2001. So I think I did have him like late 90s.
But Sean still wouldn't have been born.
Well, I figured if Sean was going to be born, if we were going to have a kid, I would either take my daughter or my son. So that's the idea with keeping the tickets. But I just didn't bother. So I wound up letting them go. So then when I met Ronnie, now, Ronnie didn't know anything about sports. She was like, I hate sports.
No, that's not true. I like certain sports. I can't... Forgive me, people, if you like. I can't stand baseball. It's just too tiring and it's boring. I like basketball, and I did like football. I just didn't know anything about it, so I was waiting for, other than me going and getting a book and reading about it, or somebody I was waiting to get a boyfriend that would explain it to me, because I really wanted to get into it.
And I was the
John
boyfriend.
was that boyfriend.
Yes,
he explained everything to it. And John took me to my first Eagles game, my first football game ever.
And do you remember who that was?
Who played
and what the game meant? Because I do.
Oh, I don't know. Was it
Oh,
Atlanta?
actually, wait a minute. No, we went to a couple. We went to a preseason game. That's the
no,
one.
The first one.
The first one, we went to a preseason game, because that's when you scarred up your leg trying to jump over a pole.
No, I wasn't jumping.
She was jumping over a pole.
Let me explain this. So the game was over. We were like, what was that, the 700 level? So we had to walk all the way down.
No, babe. You never went to the vet. I took you to the link.
What level was it at the link?
The link, it was a low level, but you did that. No, you did that in the parking lot.
No, I know that. I'm not even talking about that. I'm like, we were.
Yeah, when we went to the playoff game, we took her to two. I forget who the preseason game probably was against the Jets.
I'm talking about the first game.
Yeah, that was against the Jets, but the game against the game against Green Bay Packers, that was a playoff game, because I took her and Sean. But she damaged her leg. She got a scar forever.
This was the first game that he took me to. I'm getting to that.
Can you show us a picture of the scar?
No. I have pictures, though, I will insert. But that was the first game that we went to. I had my little Michael Vick t-shirt on. And I had some shorts on. And we were walking through the parking lot. And if you know anything like the parking lots, they have those galvanized steel, I guess like bumpers or whatever, that you can step over. So we were walking. I don't even know why we were doing that, but we were walking through the parking lot, and I went to step over one of the metal plates or whatever, and it was torn on the side, and it totally scarred up my leg. And you think that's funny? No, you know why? Because when we got back to his house,
I bet you can't jump over the pole and scar your leg. And she's like, watch me.
No, that wasn't it. I could get over it. I just didn't know the thing had a metal piece on the other side that scarred up my leg. And when we got back to his house, I told him, I said, you do realize I have no scars on my leg at all. I never felt... Okay, so this
pole was this high with a chain on it. And I said, Ronnie, just step over. She was like, ah! Rolling off the side of the pole.
Him, or you gonna believe me? I know what happened.
Your call.
I scraped up my leg, and I blamed him because I had never had scars on my legs. Because growing up, my mom had something. She had some kind of weird thing going on where she was like, as kids, you rip and run up and down the streets. One of my cousins got a lot of scars on her legs, and my mom just didn't want. She's like, little girls are supposed to have scars on their legs and all this kind of stuff. But if you're a kid, you're playing, you're gonna fall down. I think every day I came home with like a hole in my leotards or whatever. So I was getting, I was falling down and doing stuff. She was always having to buy me more leotards, if like the tights or whatever. But that's what they call them, leotards. But I didn't have any scars on my leg. And that was the first scar. There was some jagged scar, too. I mean, John did take care of me and, put the stuff on. But, yeah, I didn't have any scars on my legs after that.
But I did say something.
That.
I did say something to Ronnie's mom about that. I said, I heard that you protected Ronnie from getting scars. She said, John, what I did is I wrapped that child up in bubble wrap. If you ever seen the Bubble Boy, I wrapped her from head to toe in bubble wrap. He said, you don't take care of my daughter like I did. Where's your bubble wrap?
She didn't. But that was, she was like, I can't wait till you get this age, and you get a scar on your leg. So, yeah. But, I mean, you know how we do. Put cocoa butter on it and heal it or whatever. And I can't even really find that scar today. I do have the scar from my cat, but I don't have the scar from our first
you tell that story. I think you told that before about them putting when you got cat scratch fever and they put that what was that, a half a sock on your arm.
I'll tell it real quick. Yeah, I had a cat growing up, and he got out and he ran under the rose bush. I think I did tell this story. And which arm is this? This arm here. You can't really see it. But I went to grab him from under the rose bush, and he went, you know how cats do, and totally scratched up my arm. And I thought, oh my God, I I think we told this because it was like, people just didn't take you to the hospital.
First of all, that sounded like a dog.
No, the cat went, and they don't take you to the hospital. I mean, at least my family didn't. They believe in, I can take care of it. Just put some alcohol on there. So you realize how that burned. I think it might have been peroxide too. But I thought, this is probably something I need to go to the hospital for because I might need some stitches or whatever. And I can remember when, like, the next day it was all puckered up and it was all red. And I thought, this might get... Nobody thought about taking me to the hospital. Nobody thought this could get infected. And I thought, when I went to school, I didn't want to... I thought, I wanted to go to the hospital so I could get like an ace bandage, and they'd be like, what happened or whatever. No. What did my great grandmother do? Took a sock and wrapped it. I'm like, can you at least go to the store and get me a proper ace bandage or whatever? So no,
you get a tube sock. You cut the toes out of it.
And of course I got teased because of it. And I was like, it's a wonder that I even survived school. But you know what? We were tough and we got through things because I could tell you some. We do tell stories.
What they call you, Ronnie Sock?
I don't know what they. Kids always find something stupid to say.
I would have.
So I did get teased, but I'm like, why you a tube sock on my arm? But anyway, we're getting off subject. But yeah, that's what happened. I scarred up my leg, and I will forever have a memory, of our first. That wasn't our first date, but our first football game. And I had fun. I really did. And from that point on, I think I've kind of been really into football. Now, I'm about to say something. John's not going to agree with it. But I went to the University of Pittsburgh. I feel that I should be allowed to root for the Steelers. He don't want to hear it. He talking about it's a violation. I think we discussed this before. But I'm like bi-coastal. One end of...
Bi-coastal?
One
you live on two different coasts?
No, one end of Pennsylvania and the other end of Pennsylvania. It's not bi-coastal, but it's two sides of the same state. So I think that I should be allowed to root for the Steelers. And he didn't want that.
Well, I would tell you, now I know people from Pittsburgh. People from Pittsburgh.
Oh, here we go.
They love their football. You would not be accepted as a Steelers fan. Because what they're going to do, the first thing they're going to say, they're going to hear your accent because you got a Philly accent. They're going to be like, she is not a Pittsburghtonian. And I'm telling you right now, they are not going to accept you. And this is a second thing. This is my reason that... Now, I did buy her, which in any realm is probably a violation, but I did buy her a Cincinnati Bengals jersey, which she told me she lost. But when I was digging in the closet... Because we need to clean our closet, Ronnie. When I was digging in our closet, I got
tell you I lost my
got a Cincinnati Bengals jersey in there along with my hat, so we're pushed all the way back in the corner.
I did not tell you I lost that. I just don't wear it. I
asked you one time where it was. You were like, I don't know where it is.
No, I didn't.
So I did get her another team, which was against my better judgment because she liked Ocho Cinco.
I liked Ocho Cinco.
So I did get her.
So I wanted a Chad.
Is that Ocho Cinco jersey?
That's his jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I did get her a Cincinnati Bengal jersey. But with that being said, Pittsburgh, totally different thing. And it's not like because I don't like people from Pittsburgh. It has nothing to do. No,
that's because you don't like Ben Roethlisberger.
Know what the problem is? That's right. Exactly. Ben Roethlisberger, when we went... Let me tell you this quick story. So, I think it was in August. My son was probably around...
Ain't even with the team anymore.
Let's see.
So you carrying grudges.
I am carrying grudges. So, I guess it was August. It was around August, and I forget what year it was, because I forget how old he was when we took him down. But the Eagles... Oh, I know what it was. It was 2008 championship game, because it was against the Cardinals. Donovan McNabb totally screwed up that game, throwing worm balls all day in the ground. But what I had done, because I didn't even think that they would get the chance to go to the Super Bowl that year, August of 2008, I basically arranged a trip for me and my son to go NFL experience, and I figured we'd take him to Florida and do some things. Well, my ex, she was deadly against it, That's why she's my ex. But so we turned around and we set everything up, So, and I think my mom and my dad went down with us too at the time. So I set up the trip, and I thought it would be a really nice trip. And I never thought in a million years that they'd even get to the championship game. But they got to the championship game, and if you go back and look on YouTube, which you can see that one too, but I don't watch that. But they actually wound up losing it. So after they lost the game, I was like, well, it would have been a bonus if they went, but no big deal. We went down, we had a really good time, long story short. But I took them to the NFL experience because that was part of the reason, figuring that it would take us years, and then if the Eagles ever got to it, and then if they did get to it, depending on what the city was, because that year it was in Tampa, Florida, which is not that far from Philly. What is it, like 22 hours, I think? I think it's 22 hours by train. So we had went down there and took him to the NFL experience. So he's seen this one. They have, if you've never been there before, they have all these different games like centered around football. So they had this football toss. Now this football toss, it looked like if you've ever been to like a golf range where they have these great big nets up. They had nets going down about 60 yards down the field. Now 60, 70, 80 yards downfield. Most people, the average person, the beer drinker, the what do they call them? The Monday morning quarterback. No one's going to be able to throw a ball 80 yards down the field or 60 yards down the field. With that being said, I'm standing in line and I look, and this big tall guy is like about 2 or 3 sets of people ahead of us. And I heard somebody say, "Oh, hello, Mr. Roethlisberger." And he's like, "Oh," like this. Okay? So my son at the time, and he wasn't a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but he just liked the idea that he was a professional football player, and he wanted to go up and ask him for his autograph. So I said to him, well, go up and ask him. I said, he'd probably give it to you. Then he goes up, and this dude turned around and looked at him and says, "Oh, you must have me mistaken." Dude, come on. First of all, the kid is, at the time, I think he might have been about 8. Now, if you're an adult and you do it, I can see him say, "Hey, look, bud, I'm with my family." You got an 8-year-old kid coming up here asking you for your autograph. And the only thing I can say to you is shame, shame, right?
Yeah, John, this is a story, and that's why I can't have
and
a
when
Pittsburgh Steelers
and when
jersey.
I say that I know that was definitely him, because I seen his skinny ass girlfriend, and that's the same girl I seen on TV, which later he broke up with, probably because he was a rotten person. But he walked up to that football to us, and he threw that goddamn football 80 yards down the field. And it landed in the net, which stopped it, or it would have kept on going. Now, there is no way in God's green earth that this man, who was around the same height, I believe he was about 6'5", because at the time I was 6'2". I might be 6 foot now because I'm shrinking with my old age. But at the time, he was at least 6'4", 6'5", which that's Roethlisberger's height. He threw that ball, hit that net 80 yards downfield, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, that's a bad disguise that he's trying to act like, "Oh, I'm not Ben Roethlisberger." Come on, dude. You make millions of dollars a year. Sign the kid's autograph and send him on his way. What does it take, 2 seconds? But anyway, that's my Ben Roethlisberger story.
And that's why I can't have Pittsburgh.
No, you can't have it because it's a violation, because you're from Philly, and we root for the Eagles.
John, I understand, you can be from, and there are a lot of people, you can be from any state and still root for a team that's not your home team. He makes it seem like if I root for anybody else in the Eagles, it's like
and we're gonna get into
blasphemy or something like that.
This. You can, if you, let's say I grew up in Dallas, and I moved to Pennsylvania, moved to Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. I'm still a Cowboys fan. I'm still rooting for the Cowboys because I grew up in that state, that city. That was my team. Because I moved to another city or state or wherever, peninsula. What do they call it? Starts with a P. What do they call that? I forget one. Anyway, But because you moved to like a different area, that's even better. That doesn't mean that you drop your team where you grew up, your hometown team. Of course, I expect you to do that. But see, in Philadelphia, we get these people, a lot of them are front runners. Because, again, this is what's going to happen. Now, I got a next-door neighbor. He don't know anything about Dallas other than he got a plane down there one day to see a game. He don't know nothing about Texas. And when you ask him why he rooted for the team, he's going to say that thing that I hear a lot of people always say, well, I rooted for the team because I looked the star on their helmet. I don't know what that means. You know? My sister years ago, when we had Eagles tickets, I think she did it just to annoy me. She said she wanted to root for the Rams. And I'm like, why are you rooting for the Rams? She said, I want to root for the Rams because they got blue horns on their helmet.
Yeah, I don't see what that's got to do with me because I didn't. Here's the thing. I told him. I said my why Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. Why it's such near and dear to my heart is because it's not that I just went to school there, but my godmother lived there, and every summer me and my mom went to Pittsburgh for 2 weeks. So I spent my summers in Pittsburgh. And then I decided to go there, and I went there for 4 years. So I should be. Y'all let us know in the comments. I always say this. Y'all let us know in the comments.
I wish I could tie my wings together. They'd be like earmuffs.
Get a Pittsburgh jersey. I should be able to get a Steelers jersey. I didn't live there all my life, but I spent my summers there.
Okay, so with that being said, when we used to go. All during the summer when we were little, my dad got this shore house right outside of Wildwood in Villas, New Jersey. So he took us to New Jersey every weekend. Did I grow up to be a Jersey Devils fan? No.
Could have if you wanted to.
Of course you can
you really
if you
wasn't
want
that
to.
Much into
the problem
hockey.
The problem is though, babe. Why do you want to root for someplace you have no ties to? Because you spent the summers there.
I want to root. I just want a jersey. I'm not saying that I'm going to get that jersey and all of a sudden become a diehard Steelers fan. I just think I should be allowed to have. You always talk about it's a violation. I should be allowed.
I don't actually do it like that.
You really do. Yeah, he's like, it's a violation. I should be able. If anybody, I should be able to get a Steelers jersey.
What would make you want it? Unless you're going to root for them, why do you want a Steelers jersey?
I just like the jersey.
Okay, so get a black Eagles jersey. It's the same thing.
I have Eagles jerseys.
You got a black one?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, then you're already ahead. You're already ahead. Then what are you worried about?
I'm not talking to John about this anymore because, we've had countless, crazy conversations about this, and he just will not budge because, it's a violation. That's it. I'm tired of talking about it. I want to get me a
I'll tell
Steelers
you what.
jersey.
I will get you a Steelers jersey. I'm going to get some tickets. We're going to go back down to the link, and you're going to jump that damn post. And I'm going to tape you, and then we'll put it on the video. And if you can clear that damn post, I'll get you a Steelers jersey.
He made it seem like I was like running like some damn horse and was jumping over,
it was this high.
No, that was not it. We were not running. I was not jumping. I stepped over it, and there was a metal piece on the other side that was broken, and that's what cut my leg. We wasn't jumping hurdles. Done with him. All right, are we finishing this up because you wanted to talk about, your lovely Eagles and all this kind of stuff?
Well, no, it's not. This isn't about football. I don't want to get into like the details of the game and stuff. We just talk about football experiences. That's why I bring up Ronnie. Now, let me ask you something. What about the playoff game? Now, that was the first real football game because that actually counted because some other games are just preseason.
I don't remember.
Okay, that's exactly why she don't get a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey.
Buck!
Okay, that's a chicken, not an eagle.
I don't know what eagles do, but I've just said buck.
Okay.
All right.
So, I would like, we don't have to do it next week, but I would like to do a video on football foods. So if you guys got some kind of special foods that you cook for football games, like tailgate parties, Monday night football parties, drop us a line, because I am going to do my video, and I'd like to see, I might even try somebody else's recipe if they kick us a couple good recipes out.
Yeah, I mean, John always gets a whole bunch of food for, football night, and he makes it a big thing, and we watch football downstairs and scream and yell and eat food. So, yeah, let us know some of your favorite, football foodies, things, or whatever.
Ronnie makes machos. Machos! Right? Yeah. Nachos.
All right. I'm done with you. What do we say?
Okay, God bless you all.
Peace and love, everyone.
And go Eagles!